Orphan wells, simple fact question. How many wells does Pennsylvania own?
The Commonwealth, or how many orphan wells are there in the Commonwealth?
Commonwealth, how many do they own? The state owns the orphan wells.
Well, there is an estimate of about 200,000.
So you think the state owns 200,000 wells?
Well, I would not necessarily agree with you that the state owns it. The state has to deal with that legacy.
There's a program called the Orphan Well Program whereby ownership of wells actually shifted to the Commonwealth. How many wells are enrolled in that Orphan Well Program and are titled to the Commonwealth?
I don't have that, but I'd be happy to get it for you.
Can you order magnitude?
I will be happy to get you the information.
Okay. Can you also find out how frequently, or maybe you know, how frequently you're talking about well inspections and your inspectors don't visit wells as often as they should. You need it to be more frequent. How often does the state visit the wells that it owns?
The state visits wells that it owns when it plugs them.
So if you're not going out to plug it, you don't go check on its condition?
Well, given the magnitude of the problem and the very limited amount of resources that we have as an agency, it makes sense to spend as much time and money as we can to plug the wells that are in the inventory rather than looking at wells that we can't do anything about.
Can't do anything about. So you don't even want to check if they're deteriorating, if they're on fire, if they're flooding streams. It's not worth even taking a look.
I'm sure, as a matter of course, when we have folks in the field, they are doing all of that due diligence.
Now, if these are privately owned wells, how often would you visit them?
It depends.
Okay. How many wells did you plug this last year?
I don't have that count in my head. Representative, I'll be happy to get you that information.
How many wells did the private sector plug for the state this past year?
Again, we'll be happy to provide that.
Well, since we don't seem to have a lot of data on that, I'm going to change subjects.